Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia. I guess you could say was we're expanding one of the head traders of TradeView Markets. It is, what is today? Today's January, Jesus Christ. It's March 2nd, a little after. You know what? I kind of rushed getting on here. I tried, yesterday was on maybe 11. Coach and I got in a little, it was my fault, maybe 11:08. It's what, 11:03 a.m. So I apologize. A lot was going on. You know what? I'm not even signing. Let me share my screen. Let's share my other screen now, and I'll show you that I'm trying not to look at my quotes. And I'm going to sign in when everybody, when I sign in, it's going to be, right here because I get distracted, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be redundant or the stutter, for lack of a better term, you know what I mean? So let me get back into the routine here. Let's sign into TradeGATEHub. A lot is going on. Listen, Powell just spoke a little while ago. A lot of numbers came out this morning that are moving the market. Obviously, geopolitically, crude oil I think crude oil, I guess you can also say it's kind of a crowded trade on both sides right now. Everybody's so mixed, but it's actually kind of a crowded conversation still, but it's an active one and it's moving. So I have no problem with that. You can see the new office here, right? I'm going to get one of those fish tanks, one of those crib fish tanks back there so I can have like a shark swimming back there. Okay. So let me go back to the process because I always want this. I don't want to preach, but to tell anybody that, the fundamentals are just as important as execution. Matter of fact, the fundamentals are more important than execution. You have no fundamentals, you won't know what to execute. You'd be throwing darts. And you want to throw darts, then, we're not here for that. We don't throw darts at TradeGATEHub. Okay, so let's sign in. Like I said, the same as for everybody, TradeView Markets. I go to TradeGATEHub, I log in, and I'm in. Will I short USO? Lewis, I've been shorting. Okay, Lewis, I've been shorting USO all morning. So let me just reiterate what I've been doing. Matter of fact, the first short when I show you on the chart was at about 7 o'clock. Okay, where am I? Okay, nibble on UC. Okay, USO that is. That was 3 hours ago. So I started shorting it at above 75. Got most of my USO short at an average of 75.38. Okay, let's keep going again. I apologize about not going through the fundamentals. I took some USO off. I covered at 74.20. Then the crew was pulling back. I reshorted it again. Hold on. So I am short USO. As a matter of fact, when I came on, I just covered some 72.40. You know what I mean? It's in the middle of the zone right now. I don't think everybody that's been long USO or crude is going to say that's it and dump it. It has so much technical support on every time frame going out there. Once again, I'll write it down so I don't the crude time frame. So I go back to what I said. Crude time frame. You know what I mean? These are trades. You know what I mean? The big money was being long USO. As I said in the past, on Monday and Tuesday, they let us out of the trade being short. It was a kind of a delayed reaction. So let me get back to the routine, Lewis. So just listen, I post for a reason, you know what I mean? So just like always go over the data that I post and you'll get a feel for what's going on instead of just signing on 11 o'clock and saying you're shorting crude. You know what I mean? It's a process. I might have shorted, I'm not going to short crude right here. I shorted it $3 ago USO. So I'll reevaluate it again. But the bottom line is I don't want to keep, being redundant, be preaching. Look at what's going on. Market sentiment. Okay. So this is what market sentiment, the coach will edify to this. The financials and Citibank really is getting hammered today. Was very weak across the board. The oils were holding what I thought was tactical sentiment. So you have to kind of figure out what's been. No, Lewis, I understand. I'm going to go over listen, for example, if you're asking if I'm going to short USO now, definitely I'll let you know if you're not in it, what I would do now. But you know what I mean? I kind of want, this is not heard Mike V Pat Mike V in the back hour, but rolling into Monday, Tuesdays, and even today's video that, over 75 USO, the strike price, especially when it did that rip up. Now I don't know. like I said, if you look at some of these stocks like OXO, I'm not looking at my charts, but I just know because I traded them today. If you look at Oxy, if you look at Clear, Chevron, I believe is still strong. These are, it's not like they went down and they're spiking $5 down after a nice run up. It's all a little bit of distribution. It's selling, if you will. You know what I mean? And they're probably better buys on the dip. But once again, the macro story and geopolitical story is the reason, that's what's driving them right now. That was the delayed reaction because no one actually even believed that Putin would do it, even though everybody said he would have. So that's where I'm going. Lewis, a couple more questions in a second. I'll take them. Thanks for coming on, man. You know what I mean? I just don't, it's kind of like a stale trade now. NASDAQ, S&P future sentiment. So we're stock picking. I'll get back to when I sign on. We'll get back there. Fear and greed, that's in the bull's favor. You know what I mean? You want to buy fear. And what's their fear in? That's the question. Is everybody fearing that they missed out on the crude trade? I don't think so. Yes, well, you know what? Those, the PPG, APD, and the chemical industry, including DuPont, Lewis, those are heavily, heavily tied to interest rates. And you know what? Some of these other major chemical companies also have a major European presence. So I understand what you're asking and why. And I know some of your clients may trade those on a macro view, and it's a good question. I'll get to them after, but it's not really my sector, but I do know that they're heavily tied to interest rates, and it's like IBM. You know what I mean? It's heavily tied to the dollar and even intracontinental interest rates, for lack of a better term. Keep going back. You like the new office? Okay. Fear and greed in our favor. World markets. Weekly advisor sentiment. This is very bullish. Now, I'm not biased. I'm mixed. I'll show you when I sign on. It's not like I'm saying all in on the board, or I'm not trying to pick bottoms on some of these things. A couple I did. So the bullish advisors, this is going back for what, 3 years? And by the way, a lot of serious situations have happened in between there. Obviously, COVID, and obviously the flash crasher, if you want. So sentiment is very bearish, although the S&P is holding up. So it's up to you to take it from there. It is a tool. OPEC meeting, that was 26 minutes ago, meaning it was 4 hours ago. Upgrades and downgrades. ARK Invest, they bought Nutella into the dip. Thank God I bought it. I sold it. It's there. I did buy a little Nutella here at 88. I sold the 85% of the position at like 102, 103. You know what I mean? I took it off because it made a move. Thank God it made the move. If it didn't, I'd probably still be sitting in it a little bit. So let's go to there's an ARK trades, daily velocity scan. Lewis, go through these charts. You'll know what I mean. It's self-explanatory. I mean, INDO, that's the number that moves with gas. Everybody knows that, or that's what it does. RS, that's a steel stock. No surprise. So DCP, SUPN, NS, European natural gas doubling in 2 sessions. How you doing? These are all things I want to go over. Always put on the economic calendar at 10:30 was the economic, the petroleum number. Beige books at 2. Powell speaking today trumps everything. Ford had big news. Do the research on it, or read the story. I don't mean to say read the research. It's a good story. I mean, it's an interesting story about Ford. Ford, you can say, is a Generation X or a baby boomer. It may be analogous to how Ford is changing with the times as well. It's a good story. It's a good read. Yesterday, movers with range and volume. Okay, now I'll nibble on some more USO. I meant USO, short above 75. I said USO, probably a mid-AM fade. And this was, by the way, 3 hours ago. So what did USO do today? It'll like 11 o'clock, 10:30 to 11. It did the mid-AM fade. You're going to be wrong first, like I said. Fizzler. What else do we do? Good question on Plug and Fizzler to see if they would bring down Run or an ENPH. The former happened. Plug and Fizzler brought down the solars a little bit. But you know what? Crude also came under a little bit of selling pressure or profit taking, let's say. Fizzler, good gauge. Jwin, I shorted it nicely, but it was a buy in the dip. ANF, I bought horribly. I got out of it even. I timed it incorrectly. I'll get back to it on the trades. More retailers report tomorrow. Crude pulling back. Pre-market movers. Okay. Let's get back to let's go to what's moving right now. I don't want to sign on yet because I might get a little bit distracted. So or I might get internal. That is, when I see things, I might not portray the lesson instead of absorbing what's going on. And that wouldn't be fair, if you will. Okay, these are the movers today. So if I were to sign on at 9 o'clock, if I would end the webinar at whatever, or if I would come back after lunch, or if I would want to see post market, these are the screens I go to, my top list, my sector watch. All right, let's look at the energy sector, for example. Can we see this? Let me make sure you can see this. Where's the thing here? Okay, make sure you can see sector watch, energy. So what's the weakest energy stock right now? Halliburton's negative. Oh, that's in the last 15 minutes. Hess is negative. Devon Energy negative. Marathon Energy negative. So those are the ones that went negative first. In the last 15 minutes, the percentage, what's come down in the last 15 minutes? APA COP could have been someone. See, COP I didn't want to short because it didn't touch 100. And I thought it would hit that strike at 100 and wipe all the shorts out through 100. I was hoping to get a little bit at like 102. It didn't go there. Whatever next, I was on it. My alert page, that's where the sexy stocks are moving. I don't mean to offend anyone. AUPH, thank God we got it at a daily low. SBS turbo breakup, what's moving? AUPH, EPAN, Hewlett Packard acting well, good for the semis. Intel's acting very well too. But let me go to my top page and stop jumping around. So what's moving and what do I like so far? Top list. See if I have any questions to the family. Hold on. Okay. JWin at the high, 500% of its volume. And it has a, man, look at that. In the last 10 minutes has huge volume and it's made a huge move up. I'm interested. And by the way, this could not be a one-day wonder. Why? Because Macy's is acting well. Kohl's was up $2.50 yesterday, pulled back a little bit with the market. Now it's up 2 again. So what else do I like? Body, not that interested, a $2 stock. Excel, not interested. Zip Recruiter, maybe, you know what I mean? It only has 700,000 shares traded. Not sexy enough for me. So if I take 10,000 shares, 8,000 shares even. It's too thin for me. Las Vegas Sands had news. Read the news on Win 2. It had to do about letting down Chinese gambling restrictions. Also a macro news that might have a trickle down theory or waves, just like Ford does or did. HPE, not interested. Look at the ones with volume. That's bottom line. So it's 11:15 Eastern, and I want to be. A lot of stocks have good volume. I have to be on a day like today. I have to be interested in a stock. Has to have at least 50% volume in 2.5 hours trading for me to be interested. So let's go to. Well, you know what? There's a lot of movement today. That's good. Ford, but see that good? Ford and Hewlett Packard, NTR. I guarantee CF and Moss are up there. DXC. I gotta write that down. I like that DXC. That should go in the fund DXC. Fund. I haven't looked at it lately, so I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but I know that stock is acting very well. Chevron, to no surprise, but it's a little bit off the high. BTU, Las Vegas Sands. Where's CF? CF should be on there. It isn't. Maxer, Linear. All right, what's near the low? A&F at 30. I bought A&F. My first purchase was like 30. I'll show you that again. I have to write down what I say because I want to complete. Fizzler, that actually rallied a little bit. Riven, a dog. CSIQ and run. Like I said, Fizzler I thought maybe Fizzler would reverse and run and CSIQ and the solars would act better, but it was the opposite. Maybe because the market came under a little bit of pressure. Let's know. RBLX has no buyers. Piton, no buyers. AFRM. Disappointing rally. EMPH, a best of breed. EMPH, all right. EMPH. I brought that up on TradeGATEHub this morning. I'm giving you this at least what's in play, or the stocks that are moving. I didn't know they would be moving like this at 11:15. But what I did say is, and Gerard asked a great question when I was commenting on Fizzler. The rest of the solars have been ripping. Run and JKS have been very good in EMPH. We'll see how this fares. And he says, will you buy Fizzler? And I said, no, thank God. And I said, no, use Fizzler weakness and see how plug reacts. So look at the after hours trade and plug in fizzlers and use the fizzler weakness. See how bottom line is the weakness in the weak stocks took down the strength in the strong stocks, and I'll show you that afterwards. So the story may not be over. Plug did reverse. I'll also get back to your question, Lewis. Let me sign out of this so I could. It slows down the situation, if you know what I mean. Let me exit out. You know what? Hold on. Let me exit out of this. I don't want to save the layout. Any other questions? No, Lewis. Good for you. All right, let me sign in. This is how I sign in. Okay, so I haven't looked, and believe me, it's going to be, I'll put out a better product if I don't look, because I get alerts for everything and then I get off topic. So let me put down the secret codes here. All right. As I pull up and see what everything is doing, let's get back to TradeGATEHub. And we'll look right now what's moved. While I wait, I can look right here. I forgot. Actually, I didn't forget. I was signing in. So what's right here? New York Stock Exchange stocks. That's what we give you. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. Unpin that. That's my MLCO. Hold on, please. I apologize. Okay. Let's look at the biggest gainers. I don't even have to look at my screen. We give you that. The team does. JWin. Naturally, we said that was there. ROGO. That might have some follow-through potential. That's what goes with Moss and CF. That's one of these growers, if you will. BTU's good. Excel. Nothing that sexy. ZipRecruiter was on our other thing. All right. So let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. NASDAQ's ripping. Okay. Hold on, guys. What happened to my chart? The same thing happened yesterday. Okay. My main screen. Here's what's moving. All right. This is the main page today. All right. You want to bet US CPE, Devon, Chevron, USO. Where'd I cover it? I could have been someone. Look at Win. All right. Let's look at the USO trades. All right. USO. Okay. We all know what the DSI was because this is, I went back 5 years. And by the way, as everybody, please, if anything you learn from this, know that the relative strength, when they make those moves up, the parabolic moves up, the RSIs stay up a lot longer. They don't crash. They stay up and they shake people out and they do the dip and then they go back. You know what I mean? It's a back and fill situation. But this was the RSI on crude going back to 2016. Okay. So granted, we've had wars, we've had diseases, and that was the going back. So it was only a matter of time. Like I said on TradeGATEHub, you're going to be wrong before you're going to be right. It's a crowded advanced trade. But if you held off this long doing it, then that's good. So let's look at the daily. And at 70, I started shorting it. You know what? Let me go back. I don't even know what I did. It was so long ago. But I'll review my trades later on today. And that'll refresh my memory. So I started shorting this. There you go. What time is that? Oh, hold on a second. Chart parameters. Outside of regular hours. As you can see, at 4:30 a.m., my first short on USO this morning was 74.83, the early bird. Okay. I actually added to the winner at 5 a.m. at 74. Okay. No problem. I didn't think it would crash and go down to zero. So I took off the majority of my trade when I think I had my T at 73. So the first trade this morning was 74.83 and my cover was 73.18. That's $1.60, nothing to shake a stick at. So then I had my coffee at 8 o'clock, short USO 74, short USO 74. I think I shorted more at 75. I said I shorted more at 75. Why isn't the trade here? I don't know why. The bottom line is when I got back, when I went on TGH at 11 a.m., I took the majority of the short trade at 72. So I would say, let's clear it all here. To answer your question, get out of that. Remove trend lines. The majority of my USO shorts are in red were between what, 75 and 74.50. And the majority of my covers, I'd say, were between 73 and 72. Next, you know what I mean? How about Oxy? Oxyolar shorts, it's 49. How you doing? Averaging to 48. How you doing? Covered some Oxy, 47.50. We started 49, took it around near the low. I don't know what's going to happen today. I do like the volume. The positive is on Oxy has, this is capitulation volume. It's still up 2%. It has 100%. Granted, it's skewed. It has 100% volume, more than 100%, as of 11:30 Eastern, with a lot of time to go. And bottom line is, you're going to look at Chevron, which is the big daddy. ConocoPhillips is still hanging in there, but still, you know, how much you got? How much do you have in it? So it's still in the danger zone. I wouldn't short it here. Let me go back to my TradeGATEHub questions trading room. You know, and Lewis, you know what I mean? Okay, well, I want to answer Lewis's question on PPG. Good question. I get it. Like, all right, I know what they do. I get why you're asking. I hope someone's not long it. PPG, I mean, you know what I mean? I hate to bring it my attention. It's okay. This is what I'm going to say on PPG. Am I in the scroll? No, it's now or never on PPG. All right. There's if you have to go back to, if your stock is getting beat up so much, you got to go back to the monthly, you're in trouble. But I'm going to I've done it myself. I don't want to, I get it. So this is PPG going back to the monthly. It's obviously sitting at support here at 126. So the monthly support is at basically 126. Let's go to the weekly support. Same thing. Let's go to the daily. I hope there's big volume. PPG, I want there to be at least 2 million shares on the upside, because the selling still hasn't abated yet. It's got to have, that's just short covering. That's not people stepping in and saying, I believe, you know what I mean? So PPG, if you're in it, I wouldn't ask for a miracle. It's probably going back to 130. Wait, no, actually, it probably has more. That's a daily. PPG, I don't think anything, man. You might get back to 140 at best, but it's nothing I would build a position in. You know what I mean? It's going to take a while. I don't think it's going to go like this and you're going to get back your money just like Zoom. So I'll answer that question. What about APD, chemical? I get it. Ugh. It's the same story. You could cover up. I'll get, it's the same thing. Why don't you go to an Eastman Chemical? But why are you picking the worst chemicals though? No, I mean, chart wise, I would pick Lin. The bottom line is no, I don't like any of them. What's the best? Okay, so what's the one that was that? If you're in trouble with one of these two, or you want to start one, I'll answer the question. APD or PPD? Anybody got an opinion? No, it's APD or PPD. PPD. What happened here? Now you're gonna give me the stock? Oh, I got you. Wasting time with this. You got my answer. PPG is the one. If you want to, if you gun to my head, that's the answer to PPG. I'll keep going. Okay. What else? I saw that they were moving something. I'm getting alerts here. Let's go back to my page. Boom. So the NAS breaking higher. Hewlett Packard. Look at Hewlett Packard. Where's Hewlett Packard? HPQ. Oh, I wanted that DXC. No, it's not acting well. ORGO was one of these low floaters I like. Let's look at, that's a chart I like. ORGO. That could be a stock that building this. That goes with these fertilizer stocks, Moss and CF. These are extended, but ORGO looks good. That I got an interest in. Definitely. It's got to rest a little bit, but that's something that if I was shorted, I would cover it. What else is going on here? JWin. There's JWin. What happened? BJ. Those are my pages today. Melco Crown. Here's Win. By the way, IONQ is giving me the Twitter. Twitter hurt us. Where's TTD? That's not doing much. Hold on a second. I'm in Twitter. You know what? Twitter fooled me yesterday. Yesterday it had a huge option volume. Look at the move Twitter yesterday had into the close. Give me a second. Any other questions, guys, while I take this off? Or everyone? Twitter yesterday had a huge move on volume. That's 34.80 to 36.17. And the market wasn't acting that well. And they got me. So there's Twitter. Twitter, I'm going to get out. It should be at 30. I mean, I kind of hung in there because I think it's kind of near that 30. Well, it had a good move. Where's Twitter now? It went from 34.20 to it should be near the 35. I'm in it from where? 35.21. What's my price in Twitter? 35.39. You stink. ANF, I'm up in it. I should get out of it. Twitter, I'm along 6,600. That's why. That's a bad number, 6,600. BJ, RVLV. Look at TJX. Lowe's, Home Depot making a move. XPI and Label positive. Ford, DraftKings, LUV. So look at it, Las Vegas. So this IONQ, I did the right thing. I sold some. Look at these trades. It was a loser, and I took some off. Why can't I get into my chart? IONQ. IONQ, I sold some, and I took a loss, and I didn't like it. It fooled me. IONQ is still holding all these moving averages well, and I like it, but it made a move up, and I took some losses at the chart parameters, my trades. So there was the majority of my IONQ sales, a lot of them too, at 15.10. So as you see, I had a lot of it. I had 40,000. So from 15.10 to 14.5, I saved myself a $20,000 move. I made 7,000. You see the top right, I made $7,000 my money back. So I had 40. I'm only down to 18. And IONQ, I know it goes above this 1560. I'm going to buy more of it. I like it. You know what I mean? I just got a little bit of a pullback and a wash. NASDAQ still going higher. Apple acting well. Microsoft, Micron acting well. And Intel was acting well. I didn't buy it. Why is MU so good? Why is this thing not sticking? I have to pin it. Micron. Look at MU. How you doing? What a move. It was, you know what? It was the Tim theory, positive all morning. That's just accumulation. Buying all morning in MU. Buy green. And that worked right there. Okay, Run, not acting well. Fizzler still. DWAC, XBI, Label, General Motors, and Ford, Zim, Toll. All right, where's the crude? 73.26, right? Okay, there's my trade, right? One day doesn't make a reversal. 72, it covered off 73, went up to 73. My covers were 72.10 and 72.40. You got to take moves, you know what I mean? And I'll take moves too, and I'll take moves on Twitter as it's going to go up. I'll take moves on INQ. It's going to go up again. ANF, I got to sell. There's ANF. And you know what? ANF, I actually made money in ANF, a couple of thousand. But look at the futures. They're ripping. Nutella, we bought this morning at 88. 78, as we said this morning, now 84. So let me look at the US mover list. It's the same as on TGH. What's moving? JWin, Body, XL. Hold on. XL. It's up 28 cents, no interest. Wriggle, small little bios are moving. Jazz, pharmaceuticals, a bio is moving. Weight Watchers reversed, it's Oprah. BTU, LVS, buy green all day. Now it looks brilliant. And you know what I bought this morning? Am I going overboard? LVS looks great. Win from zero to hero. Went from breaking down to now above the moving averages. It's testing this. I like it. This MLCO might be interesting, Melco Crown. And I bought it this morning. I bought it poorly. I didn't chase it, but this Melco Crown could be interesting. Somebody wanted it out, or somebody even covered from 960 to 10 or wanted out. And this might be, you know what, Melco, no, that's the worst to breathe. Where's MGM making a move? Not bad. How about Penn? Had a sell off with the other ones. Penn not doing anything. Okay, so what else is moving? DBI, Dress Barn. They make shoes. DBI, that's the shoe sector. Wow, that's making you move. TTE, BTU, floor. It's like oil. Floor. Have a nice move up. This floor. Interesting. LVS, which week? KFT, Array, ANF. I'm going to sell it right when we get off. Fizzler. KC, some China stocks. Market ripping. ANF. ANF is sold. Live trading. TradeGATEHub. Sell 1600. Split the spread. Adaptive algo, whatever it is. Adaptive algo. Sell 1,000. Adapted. Oh, it's all out there. Hold on. Live. ANF, say goodbye. Twitter, I'm going to buy more. I'm going to sell it. No, I'm not going to sell Twitter. I'm actually starting to like it here. Continue. All right. So the bottom line is my stock today, just because I am transparent, ANF, Oxy, USO, Clear, CF, BJ. I kind of like this into earnings tonight if it holds up. Look at this BJ. Costco. It's like a Costco. What's Dollar Tree doing today? The hell doing? Yeah, I kind of like this. Look at Dollar Tree, big reversal. What would Target do? Target was up 12 yesterday. They revealed Target. All right, BJ might be interested into a number for a lotto play, but I'll leave everybody here. Let's look at what the market's doing right now. ES sold some ANF. Did I short it now? All right, good. ES, what's my plan? And let's go back to what it was. What was ES? 43.80. Okay, this is the 3-day high. 3 days on ES, 43.80. So that was, you know what? That was yesterday. It took off the futures at 43.80. So this is the number. This is the line in the sand for the futures, 43.80. I'm going back 2 weeks. I'm going back a week. So this is it on. This is going back 2 weeks on the futures. We make a live move here. So this is the line, 43.80. They go above it. We're hitting yeah. That is the plan. That's always been the plan. Let's look at the QQQ. Not doing much. IWM. Nothing. TNA. There, you know what I mean? Maybe it takes them off here. TNA doesn't look bad. So I'll leave everybody there. Any questions? Okay. I'm going to sell it right here. ANF. That was a good sale, right? At the 30.13. So that goes in the penalty box right here. What else goes in this Fitch I bought this morning too? This bastard. I sold it. I couldn't hold it. Look at this. Chart parameters. My trades. I had 8,000 shares of this thing. Buying it. It screwed me. Then it went all the way up to 16.97. That's a decent move, but I sold it. It's going to go back down Fitch. All right, so that looks like 83. What is it? 43.80. Live trading here. That looks like the level so far. And Powell speaking. So is crude. We'll see if as we hit this 43.80. Look what USO does. What crude does. Very important. If crude pulls back, this might be a level of support. Or they might break through resistance. I apologize. Alcoa, FCX, GLD giving it back. I'm going to watch Coach's 9:30 video, see what GLD is doing. One day doesn't make a reversal. That's what you like to see, a lower high. So, Lewis, anything? Am I good? Okay. It's 11:35. I went a little bit overboard again, but I like talking stocks. Anybody has a question, I'll get back after lunch. Until then, here's our mover with our TradeGate stocks, TradeGATEHub stocks. Let's share again. Anybody want to know what's moving? When I get off, you look right here. New York Stock Exchange top most active by price. There's your change. There's your price. There's our euro. That's our top gainers. You want to know what's moving in commodities? You don't have to go to investing.com. You go right here. We give you crude. We give you silver. We give you cattle. You want to corner the lumber market? We give you a quote right there. So we'll leave it right there. TradeGATEHub. Thanks for sharing. Always have a plan. And there's no bad questions. So cheers, everyone. Have a good day.